Hey guys, more on another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Wednesday morning. I hope you're okay. Hope you're all right. Hope the day is looking good. It's a cold one out there. So if you are going outside, wrap up warm because yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. In this video, though, we're going to be talking about Cristian Romero's contract situation, some small updates surrounding that here, and some attitudes surrounding that as well, which I find interesting. As well as that, we're talking about interest in a Fulham defender. You'll see what I mean when I get there. Just want to say, if you're watching this, you know, subscribe. You're very much going to enjoy us for the journey. Obviously, there was some really good international football, by the way, last night. Obviously, Brennan Johnson, goal and assists. Dejan Kulusevski was having an all-time amazing performance for Sweden. Obviously, Ben Davies playing for Wales, good win there. Yeah, all in all, pretty good outing, to be honest. I couldn't tell you how Senegal or Mali did, but overall, a good outing for everyone. A Fulham defender, ooh, Dan says. The Fulham defender, ooh, indeed. Morning, Spurs, mate. How are you? I'm convinced Decky is carrying a shoulder injury in recent games. He always grabs his right shoulder with an anguished look on his face. He went down last night in pain, even without being tackled. Interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on that listing. Morning, mate. How are you? Mali won 6-0. Bloody hell. Did they actually? They only scored 4 in 5 games, and then they've scored more than all those 5 games in one game. Fair play to him. Yeah, fair play to him. Right, let's jump in. Let's talk some Cristian Romero, because TBR Football said that Spurs are still planning to meet Romero to discuss his future. Now, that's not shocking, right? That's a given. He is, of all of our defenders, the one that you might sit there and say he has the potential of being world class. It did go on to say that Romero has voiced concerns over Spurs' lack of Champions League football, a point raised internally several times over the past 6 months. Now, I want to turn my mic up. That's what I want to do. Now, I want to talk about this because I saw some people getting really annoyed by this. You know, oh, you know, you wanted Champions League football, you need to be doing more and things like that. And that's a really poor attitude to have surrounding this. You know, it's like saying, well, we didn't get Champions League football and Gareth Bale was having an absolute worldie of a time. Well, he should have done more. You know, if you want Champions League football, we should have done more. There's 10 other players on the pitch. You know, if your midfield is playing poorly, what are you supposed to do as a centre half? You're supposed to go play midfield for them, you know? So I didn't really like that attitude that some fans have. And like I said, it's a lot of times I complain about fans. It's very much a minority. It's never a majority. The majority are all, you know, somewhat clued on. And I mean, let's be honest, I'm talking about Twitter fans, you know, that you know who I'm talking about, right? So with this, I get it. Now I get where he's coming from, where he was like, I want to play Champions League football, and I get where some fans are coming from going, well, there's been a few games this season, Cristian, that you know you probably haven't been up to what you normally perform as. And had you, we might be 3 or 4 points better off. I look at that Leicester game, first game of the season. That's the big one for me. You know, had we been a bit smarter with how we go about defending the second ball, we don't see there. We win that game, and well, look, we're multiple places higher in the league. And if we were only 1 point behind third, even with losing to Ipswich, I don't think the outcry would have been as much. You know, hey Joshua, how are you? Has Dragic played with Van der Ven yet? He has, not a lot, but he has. Hell, Dragic has played with Romero and Van der Ven in games. There you go. You see. Also, I'm keen to see what ange. I'm probably doing a press conference Friday. I'm keen to see what he says about Van der Ven and Romero's injuries. We'll have to wait and see. But like, on that side of things, I get where he's coming from. Now, Spurs will have 2 years left on his contract in the summer coming. So his contract expires in the summer of 2027. Now, this situation is giving me Harry Kane vibes. Now, obviously, Harry Kane, I know, loves Tottenham a lot more than Romero would ever love Tottenham because you know, if you've grown up through the ranks, you know, you love that club more than a person that's come in, right? That's a given. The situation that I'm finding is that Harry Kane was like, I'll stay. And I think Romero's probably like, I'll stay. You know, we want Champions League football. And then Spurs going, okay, if you're going to stay, can you sign a new contract? And them going, well, hang on, Chief. I'll sign a new contract if you can promise me development of the squad, development in terms of being in Champions League places, fighting for all trophies and all fronts. If you can guarantee that and show that, then I'll be keen. That's the whole thing with Harry Kane. Harry Kane didn't want to leave Spurs as such. He was open to leaving Spurs, but he was happy to stay that last season. And if we went out there and let's say we'd finished fourth and won the FA Cup, Harry Kane probably would have signed a new contract. That's my thinking. Like, he might not have, but that's my thinking. But it was a risk that you're like, it's £100 million deal here that we'd be throwing away potentially. And that for me was obviously more of a sign of, the club being scared of losing that, right? So it's a difficult one. It's how you think. Obviously, this is the higher ups talking about. It's how you think not Romero. This squad is right now, where we finish this season, but also where we finish next season. Because you don't have to sell Romero next summer. You could sell him the summer after and make 70 million. This summer coming, you might make 90 million. I'm talking about inflation, because if Harry Maguire's 85 million, and that was however many years ago, you put the inflation on that, you reach 90 and above. You'd actually reach way above 90, but let's just be conservative with 90. Spurs spent nearly 60 million in total on Romero, so Spurs are going to want way above 60 million to sell him. So keep that in your treasure chest, not basket. So look, that's how I think about it. For me, I think let's see how we get on this season. I think Romero is probably going, let's just see how we get on this season. Let's reconvene and regather in the summer, see how we feel. Let's talk about where we see the club going that season. And if we don't align, which basically Romero is like, I want to fight for trophies, I want Champions League football every year, and the club going, oh, I don't know. Then obviously he's going to be like, what are we doing here? I want to win trophies. I'm in my not my late 20s, but my sort of later 20s, let's move on. You cash in on me, all that stuff. So we'll see. Decking Gyökeres has a fun last night. Gyökeres, by the way, has 58 goals in 54 games this calendar year. Decent stuff. Decent stuff, Liston says. Very good stuff. I mean, he's already got 30 odd goals this season by November, which is incredible. So I was saying to Van Gogh, he was messaging me yesterday on Instagram, and he was telling me about the game because he's an Azerbaijani, so you see why. But I was like, I love watching Sweden. The Decky, the Isaac, the Gyökeres. We still got players like Alanga, Bergvall was on the bench, So only interested in Fulham Defender if it's Robertson. I'm coming to it now. Luke, how are you, mate? Hey, Polly, how are you? You okay? So yeah, there's that on Romero. Let's just wait and see. Also, forgot to say, members only video is going to be up in about an hour and a half's time, about 12 o'clock. Okay, so it's coming up. It is on Brennan Johnson. So there you go. So let's move on. Let's talk about the Fulham Defender. So Ekrem Kunor reposting it via Court Offside. This is an exclusive, by the way. And Luke, you're probably not that interested because it's Liverpool and Tottenham are both expected to be in the market for new signings defence in the near future, with Fulham centre-back Joachim Andersen being one of the names considered. Now, for me, this was probably a signing that we maybe should have done 4 or 5 years ago, right? Because we were interested in him quite a few years ago. He's a proper defender, right? Proper defender. Good in the air, physical, but he's a proper old school defender. A bit like I guess you could probably say a little bit like Dragusin, right? Now, Dragusin is probably a little bit more athletic than he is in terms of his pace. That's the issue. 2 things. Pace. When we play that high line, can Joachim Andersen defend 35, 40 yards worth of space? Now, Mickey van der Ven is the best in the world when it comes to defending 45 yards worth of space, right? Romero is pretty good as well. Dragusin, we've seen some good, we've seen some bad. Let's see how we go for another few months, and then we'll reconvene on this one towards the end of the season. Which also, his agent just needs to shut up now. I defended him to a degree by saying that he's doing his job because he wants to drum up interest in him. Whoever keeps putting a microphone in front of that guy just needs to stop because he's doing my head in. Good sign if we got him. Well, look, I like Anderson, but the pace scares me in terms of our high line. because we need to be able, guys that are going to be able to defend, like I said, 35, 40 yards worth of space. That's the whole thing about our defensive line. He's decent enough on the ball. I don't think he's like world class on the ball. I think he's decent enough. He's perfect where he is though at Fulham, isn't he? They don't play a super high line, but they can if at times. They can play out the back from times, but they can go a bit longer. You've got Muniz up front, Jimenez up front. They can, get on the ball and win a few headers and hold up the ball. He's not asked to do crazy things, which is perfect. But yeah, I mean, the other key thing is I think he's signed a 5-year deal in the summer. That summer that's just been. So I don't see any sort of real legs to this because of the fact that he's got a massive long deal. Fulham have obviously gone, well, he's pretty damn good. He's made us better, and he's made them central defense wise so much better. I'm struggling to see it personally. I like the idea of a proven centre half. I do, but he's also in his later 20s. He's got a big long contract, and I'm not sure athletically he's the right guy. We buy a defender if Romero goes or is going. We need a proper leader and made of steel. Well, yeah, if Romero goes, we'll definitely have to sign a centre half for sure. You'll think Vuskovic or Phillips will be with the first team next year. I mean, I'm interested to see how Phillips does at Stoke. Obviously, we're only a couple months into the season, but Stoke fans really rave about him in the Championships. It's a good, solid league. Obviously, Vuskovic is out in Belgium, so they think one of those two guys should be within the first team squad next year, maybe even both. What happens with Dragicin? Dragicin's got interest from the Serie A, from Juventus. I think Napoli are interested in him, so we'll have to see there. But yeah, it's a difficult one. If you do sell Romero, you have to replace him. You can't go into the next season with Van de Ven, Dragicin, and two very, very young players at centre back. Such a key area that our team success is quite heavily based on the centre backs being very, very good in on their own, being able to play it from the back and all those sort of things. So it would make me a bit scared, but I don't think Anderson's the right guy. Anderson's a good player, by the way. I can't trust enough because I know some fans might get a bit annoyed. Anderson's a very good centre back. He's just not the style of centre back that would suit what we want Ange and our centre backs to do. Sell Romero and get Mark Guay. Now, Mark Guay is a guy that could easily play in Ange ball for sure. I was never really sure about him, when we first started getting linked to Mark Guay, but the more you watch him, the more you go, yeah, he could play Ange ball. Athletic enough, knows the Premier League in and out. Homegrown, which obviously I guess would help. Can play left centre back, even though he's right-footed. It's been really solid for Palace for a long time. He could do it. No good for Ange system. Again, yeah, Luke, I agree. He's a good defender, but just not right. Dorrington, I expect Dorrington to go on loan next year. Phillips would be a good addition, but we need backup still. Pep here until 2027. True. Thoughts on Angel Gomez news? Hearing we need English players. Yeah, let's talk about Angel Gomez quick because I've talked about him on this channel a few times. Obviously, did a video on him. He's going to be on a free next summer. Okay, so Angel Gomez obviously coming through the Manchester United system, so knows English football. He's obviously in the England squad as well. Looks quite neat and tidy. Obviously athletically, he's not a very large human being. Like he's not a destroyer six. He's not that sort of Rodri style destroyer six. So there's that's a concern for some people. But then you look at Liverpool's midfield and where's their destroyer six? Endo at times, but Endo's not athletically great, So I think I like the idea, but there's talk about him wanting about 150 grand a week, which yes, he's on a free. And we did it Perisic. We paid Perisic 180 grand a week when he was 34. So it's not crazy. And he's homegrown. I get that. 150 grand a week, though, still does give me the heebie-jeebies, I can't lie. But good player. I do like him. He can easily take it off the back four, by the way. He's like Basuma, can take off the back four, can beat a press. So I don't hate the idea, though. I don't hate it. And the fact that, Spurs could do with maybe a few more homegrown players here and there to ease any potential issues we may find down the line. It's not a mad idea. I like that Irish defender that got booked in the England game and Ange knows him from Celtic. Is it Scales? Are you talking about Scales? Is it? I can't remember who it was. Hello, I was going to tune in and forgot. Bazza, you are terrible. You are terrible, Bazza. You. Everyone else is right, but you, but no, I'm joking, mate. How are you? So look, I think that on the Romero. So look, just quick recap. Romero side of things. Look, I don't hate the idea that he doesn't want to enter contract negotiations because he's like, look, show me what you can do in the transfer markets. Show me where you see us going for the next 2 or 3 years. And if you show it in terms of your movements in the transfer window to really bolster the squad, you show it in terms of you backing the manager, but what you want to do like that. Let's see how we go for that season. Because I think the next season would be that trial year where Romero goes, I'm happy to stay, but you show me, put it out there. You want to go and get a star-studded central midfielder, a right winger, then go get him. Show this squad that you want to win, and show me that you want to win. Because I have no issues with players wanting to do that. Harry Kane, like I said, Harry Kane wants to do that. Show me that you want to win. Back it up by what you do in the transfer market. If that season we do well, I'll sign a new deal. And Levy was a bit scared about that. Now, the difference is in this one, we'd have 2 years. So I think Levy would go, we could take a punt at that and just see. He would lose maybe 15 million in terms of a transfer sale. So I don't think that's crazy. But yeah, that's kind of views on that. Obviously, we talked about the Fulham defender, Joachim Andersen, and our thoughts and views on that. I don't see it for a few different reasons. Obviously, contract, only recently moved to Fulham. His suitability to Ange, I said those sort of things. And obviously his age, his later 20s. And obviously we just talked about Angel Gomez, as Joshua asked me. Obviously the potential, there's a thumbs up. Potential for like the free move when it comes to the summer in 2025, because he'll be on a free. But obviously the big wages that he may want. But, I don't hate the move. Hey, Donna, how are you, mate? If Romero doesn't want to talk, let him walk and reinvest. We've got 2 years. We've got 2 years on him. So let's not, we don't need to rush it, Love Romero's emulating his hard tackling futsal training last night. Bazza, love that. Absolutely love that. Fair play. And that's a great way to end the video. So thanks very much for watching. Obviously, members video out in a year and a half not year and a half, an hour and a half, about 12 o'clock. So yeah, that'll be out for you guys then. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all a little bit later to talk a little bit more nonsense about Spurs. Enjoy, everyone. I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Take care. Peace.